The Well-Educated Heart is both a philosophy and it's also a huge library of resources. And where we have some trouble sometimes is being able to find what we want inside the website. So today, I just want to go over how to find what you're looking for on the Well-Educated Heart website. Wouldn't you know, the day I filmed this video, Well-Educated Heart released the information that they are starting a brand new website. It sounds like it's going to be amazing and very intuitive, and it's going to be great. It will cost a little bit of money, so for those of you who are sticking with the free website for whatever reason, this video is for you. So the first thing you should know is that the website breaks down all of the resources into 12 different months, and it is organized from September all the way through August following the typical school year. And within each month, there are 4 different categories that are covered every single month. Let me show you. First off, we have the American history. Now, it goes all through the whole year, but I'm just showing a couple months here so you can see what the pattern is. The American history has been broken down into 12 different sections of time. So you've got here exploration and the colonies and independence, George Washington, American Revolution, a new nation. There's also Abraham Lincoln and modern America. But it's just the history of the United States from the very beginning all the way till now, broken down into 12 segments. Then the next layer that she has is the world history. And each of these parts of the world are directly related to what's going on in American history. So all of the countries in the whole world are going to be covered every single 12-month period, but the way that they are divided up and organized is based on how they intersect with American history and how it has been divided into these 12 sections. And one of the benefits of doing it this way is that it enables you to have not only US history, but world history every single year. Now, I know that can seem a little bit overwhelming, but the real benefit of doing it that way is that when your kids are younger, they're going to catch on to the stories and they're going to, the fairy tales and stuff, and they'll be really excited about that level of learning. And then as they get older, they can have that foundation to be able to build on and understand more of that world history. The real challenge is recognizing that you don't have to do every single one every single year. Sometimes we focus on Australia and other times we're really going to focus on Scandinavia. And when you do it every single year, you can have that flexibility and know that you will just keep coming around to it and getting to it when you get to it. So there is a lot that you can cover, but you don't have to cover it every single year. The next section that's covered every single month is the nature studies section. And this covers just a huge variety of different things, from rocks to oceans to space and the human body. There's a lot going on here, and it's just sort of been divided up and assigned to pretty much random months, but it organizes it in a way that you know that you're going to get a pretty good exposure to different nature ideas if you follow this schedule. And the last one is Mother's University. This really has nothing to do with your kids. You're not going to be teaching your kids this stuff. It's just the training that you go through as a mom to be able to really understand Well-Educated Heart. So that is how these books are organized. This rotation schedule is actually on the website, but it doesn't have this nice color coding, so I wanted to show you that it's broken down into these 4 different categories. And so when you look at the list and you're like, look at all those things every single month, I don't really know what to do with them. They are 4 categories, every single one: US history, world history, nature studies, and Mother's University. You can pick one, you can pick all of them, but just know that's how it's organized. So with that foundation, let's go to the actual website and see where you can find the links to the individual books. This is her website. It's called welleducatedheart.com. And right here at the top, you have the home button, the Well-Educated Heart button. That is all about how you can understand Well-Educated Heart better. That's for you as a mom to get an overview of what's going on with this philosophy. And then right here we have Libraries of Hope. This is the library of all of the resources. You have the option of looking at either the categories, having everything organized by category, like world history or nature studies or US history, or you have the option of looking at it by rotation. So the rotation is what we were looking at before, but as you can see, it doesn't have those nice color coding. So you have to be able to look inside each month and say, right here, this is exploration, this is the American history, and then down here, these things are all the world history. This right here, stars, is the nature studies, and this is the Mother's University. So you can see how it's broken down into each individual month. So let's just pretend that it's September and you are starting your school and you want to learn about exploration, but you don't have any books, you don't have any idea how you're going to do it. All you do is you click on this link right here and it takes you to the basic area of exploration, but it's broken down even further than what we've already broken it down. She's got introductory, intermediate, and advanced. So those 3 different levels, she used to have it as elementary and middle school and high school, but she's changed the names so that it can be a little bit more appropriate to say these introductory, it kind of doesn't matter how old you are, you should be coming at it in the introductory. And then if you're really old, you can fly through those really fast. You know, you're not going to spend very much time on fairy tales if you're 17, but it is that sort of welcome to this country, welcome to this time period. Let me gently welcome you into what's going on here. And then intermediate and advanced, they just get more and more stuff going on. So I'm going to look into the introductory section of this, which is usually I will do this because I have young kids that I use this for much more than I use it for my older kids. And so I spend most of my time in the introductory section. This is where the books are. And I'm not just saying this is where some of your books are. I'm saying this is where almost all of her books are. In these sections, this introductory, intermediate, and advanced, this is where you will find the vast majority of her books. So you've now arrived, you're where the books actually are. So inside the beginning section, you have picture books, we've got some beginning readers, some cultural, some history, historical fiction, and biographies. And these are all of the books that are available to look into if you want to see what's going on in the discovery time of American history. It is helpful to note that each one of these has the link to actually click on them is not the title of the book. It's the little symbol to the left of it. So the diamond means it's free and you can rent it in 1 hour increments for basically forever. You can just take it for an hour and then it gets returned after that hour. And then the next time you're ready to read, you go get it again until you're done reading that book, which I think is really wonderful. The $, that you can go buy that book, that's what that means. Or I'm hoping we can find up here, scrolling up, there is a heart somewhere. Okay, these hearts mean that they're free and there's no time limit on them. So you can read them for all day, every day if you really wanted to, they're just free. And then this play button here means that it's an audiobook and you can click on that and listen to the audiobook. This is where the vast majority of the books are found, and they are almost all available all the time. So it is really convenient. When you're coming across this and you're like, hey, I want to learn about the exploration time period, I'm going to come in here and say, well, I have really little kids, so I really want to look at picture books. There you go. You have picture books right there. Go ahead and look at the picture books there. And so this is kind of the database of all of the books, and you can click on the books right from this spot and go out there and find the book and read it. And I'll just show you what that looks like. I'm going to click on this diamond right here. It opens another screen and opens right to that particular book. Now, for some reason, I'm logged out right now. I don't know why. But if I was logged in, it would just say, hey, do you want to borrow this? I would say, yes, I want to borrow it right here. And once you choose borrow, you've got it for an hour for free. And so it's really convenient and very easy to get. There's one other place to find books on her website. And it's important to understand that this other place is where the motion is happening almost all the time. What you are looking at right here on the website, this pretty much holds still. These books are available for the exploration time period and they just hold still. Now, the Forgotten Classics are constantly changing. She's adding books, she's rearranging books, she's taking series and rearranging the way that the series are put together. There's a lot of motion over there, which can be both exciting and overwhelming. So a lot of times, if you just don't want to deal with all of the change that happens, stay here inside the rotation and you'll be able to find what you're looking for very predictably. If you're excited about what's going on in the changing and creating and becoming that's going on this website, or if you just feel like there's something else that you're looking for your kids that isn't being shown in here, there's one other place that you should look to find books that might not be listed here. Now, I say might not because the vast majority of these books, they're called the Forgotten Classics. Almost all of them are also being shown right here. In fact, you can see on this blue line, it says Forgotten Classics, Book of Delights 1. Okay, so the Forgotten Classics are all of her books that she has pulled together and printed or made available online. And so she takes those, and they have their own sort of bin over here as Forgotten Classics, but they're also integrated into the rotation so that you can just go to the rotation and feel pretty confident that even the Forgotten Classics are going to be in here. And I think eventually they all will be in here, but sometimes there's a gap between when they're being made and when they get put into the rotation. So if you're looking for books that you think might not be in the rotation, let me show you the only other place that they currently are. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom here where they have a nice little legend. This is the Forgotten Classics. So I'm going to click on the blue thing right here, Forgotten Classics Family Library, and it takes you to this other bin, this other place where the books are. And these books are all the ones that she has pulled together. These ones, she has now organized by rotation. And this right here, this series legend, is really important because everything is done in little symbols and letters and it can be confusing. So know that the legend on top can help you decode everything that's going on here. So she has broken down this into the rotation as well. But like I say, most of these, you don't have to come here to the Forgotten Classics to find these. They're almost all in the rotation. The couple that I found that are not all integrated into the rotation currently, it's constantly changing, but right now are Epic and Legendary Heroes series, the Imaginative series, and the World Storybook series. Those are only found right here in this series, on this page. And so you can come here and say, I've got some kids who are at that Epic and Legendary Heroes stage, and I really want to read them that book, and I can't find it inside the rotation. So come to the Forgotten Classics page, look at month 1, because that's what we're just dealing with today. And the Epic and Legendary Heroes is going to be right here. I'm going to zoom in on it. ELH, Epic and Legendary Heroes, Book 1, and then you've got this link, Norse Tales. So if I click on that link, it is again going to open up her book because they're all free digitally online, and you can then see Norse Tales, and this is perfect for your 10, 11, 12-year-old boys or girls that they really want to get into these hero stories. Then you can say, well, we're going to not only talk about hero stories, but we're going to do it specific to the countries that we are studying this month. So in summary, there are 2 main places on the Well Educated Heart website to find books. You've got the main rotation, and that covers everything that, all those 4 sections. You've got the American history, the world history, the nature studies, and the Mother's University. And then you've got the Forgotten Classics, which follows the exact same schedule. It covers the same things on month 1 as you cover on month 1 over here. They are the same. The only difference is that the one on the main rotation has a bunch of books that she is not selling that you can still access online. And the Forgotten Classics does not have any of those books. One more note, as of right now, it is listed as month 1, September on the rotation over here, and it's just listed as month 1 on the Forgotten Classics. And so that can be a little confusing. Just remember, it starts in September and it just goes all the way back through August. So month 1 is September, month 4 is December. And the last difference between these 2 areas to find books is that the Forgotten Classics links you to a whole book. Over here in the rotation, it will say, you do want that book, but you probably want page 25 to 28. It's just this little tiny story you want inside that book. And so the rotation over here gives you much more bite-sized pieces, whereas over on the Forgotten Classics, it's just a list of books, and you can decide how much you want to get out of each book, if you want to start at the beginning and run through it in 1 month, or if you just want to pull a little bit out, or you can go through the rotation over here and just know that each little story, this is Cinderella. You will find Cinderella on this page, and that can be a little bit easier to swallow than all of the fairy tales written by people in France. So this one can be easier to build your schedule off of, but this one is nice to see the whole page and say, oh, that's all of the books that you have available that apply to this month. I hope that this has been helpful. The Well Educated Heart website is constantly changing and things are constantly moving around, but knowing what the structure is that undergirds all of that change can help you say, okay, I'm excited about learning all those changes, but I also know that right now I just really need to study where we are in January or February or wherever you are, and you'll know where to go for those particular books and those particular subjects. What you're doing as a mom really, really matters. It makes a huge difference, and you are doing a much better job than you think you are. Thank you for all you do, and I will see you on the next one.